catch me on an hotel room. Yet another one. So the coffee's going to be done here. We're going to be talking about Gerard Piqué and his departure from Barcelona. We're going to be talking about the Champions League and the Europa League draws. And I'll give you some clues about 3 of the top games of the last fixture list of this year, really, before the World Cup. But first, the coffee. So, where to start?
FC Barcelona. Manchester United.
Just very quickly, let's mention that the Champions League draw and the Europa League draw, Manchester United, Barcelona, I know it's going to be in February, but these are 2 teams trying to find their identity right now. And with up and downs, it happens. Thinking about it now, it's amazing that it's taken Manchester United so long to find a way. But it seems like they found a way. I know they lost against Aston Villa, but now that you've got a style defined, it's about getting the players that fit that style. And yes, Cristiano Ronaldo won't be that player. I'm convinced that Manchester United and Cristiano himself are going to try to look for an exit, so he may not even be involved in that game. I'm also convinced that I'm not sure that's as easy as said, and he may still be available, but perhaps may not even start at the way that things are developing. Imagine what has happened in the last 5-6 games. What is it, 5 without a defeat, and then the defeat of against Aston Villa. This is a team that's progressing very quickly into a place where Cristiano doesn't fit. So he may not even be involved in that game from the start. But let's see what Barcelona feel that they've got in them, and if they've improved, that's a test to Xavi's credentials. The team is not evolving. There is quality, and in the league they're doing well, but in Europe they get found out. So will be good to see what happens a month and a half after the World Cup, and to see if there is an evolution. In the case of Real Madrid, Liverpool, what can you say? The quality of Real Madrid against a Liverpool that is also doubting, and doubt is the worst thing that you can do as a team. It seems like a year in which everybody's gone like, oh. Especially with the help of new players, they may just find a new energy at some point. But in a game like this, anything can happen. Quite clearly, Real Madrid, and you're going to see that in the league this week, in the last few days before the World Cup starts. Real Madrid are not impressing with the football, but with Rodrigo, Vinicius and Valverde, what you've got certainly is a team that has got new legs, new energy, new ways of winning. Without Benzema, they've done okay, and certainly with the help of Rodrigo, who's using his newfound enjoyment of the role of false 9, if you like. To be honest, there's so much versatility, I don't know how to call these players anymore, but they have been key. In fact, they scored 46% of the goals of Real Madrid this season, and they're going to improve and get better. That's for the European fixtures, but now we need to talk about La Liga. Remember, you can still watch all the games of La Liga in the Viaplay app, and also the usual ways through Amazon, Virgin, etc. So the name has changed, but what you're getting is exactly the same.
Premier Sports becomes Viaplay.
So let's have a look at the games from the last fixture list before we all go to the World Cup. Yes, I'll be there. I'll be in Qatar. First of all, Osasuna Barcelona on Tuesday night. Now, this is one of those games in which everybody in Barcelona are going to have to be at the best. Osasuna have got an amount of points, and they are in European places that they haven't, the only once in the history, and the Javier Aguirre, the year they actually made it into the Champions League, they got these same points. And you are talking about a side that's working perfectly well in the way that Arrasate wants them to be. When they have to defend deep, they do defend deep. When they have to pressure high, they do it very efficiently as well. And up front, and this is gold for teams like Osasuna, things are happening. 6 goals from Chimi Avila means that he's responsible for half of the points that Osasuna have got already. And you still got Aymar Oroz, for instance, a youngster that we've spoken here in Coffee with Guillem before, just raising his game. Budimir, who is the number 9 as well, making sure that he drags defenders away for the likes of Chimi Avila to take advantage of that space that's being created. And David Garcia, the centre-back of Osasuna, who is becoming one of the best centre-backs of La Liga. Against a Barcelona that in the league they're doing well. 4 goals conceded only. They're going to Europe and they seem very, very exposed, but in Spain, in La Liga, they are doing really well. They have been needing the goals of Lewandowski to save them more than once, and he has become the best goal scorer of La Liga already. But this Barcelona played really well against Almeria, a side that defended very, very deep, but they played in the way that Xavi wanted. Do you know, this has been all season between, what players want, quicker transitions, and what Xavi wants, more control. And it was a very balanced game in what it was, of course, the goodbye to Gerard Piqué. On that, and we already, everybody's had a say on it, he's basically left now because he feels that he was becoming the villain of the piece. Relationships with Xavi, with Laporta, the president, are very tense. So he thought, you know what, we need some distance, as he did say himself in the speech to the fans. But I want to leave you on this Piqué issue with one idea that many have romanticized about, and it's not happening, and I don't think it will happen. This idea of making Barcelona a little bit like Bayern Munich, with the success of that era that we've seen the end of now. Many suspected that perhaps you could have Gerard Piqué as a president, you could have Carles Puyol as an ambassador, Xavi as a coach, and the likes of Messi, for instance, as director of football. Is not going to happen. It's definitely not going to happen. The relationships, and this is amazing as well, and a story to tell, really, of people that have been closer for so long, and yet, right where we are now, they haven't got the best of relationships. Piqué, Messi, not great relationship. Piqué, Xavi, right now, very tense. Puyol, Piqué, yes, but was one of the few players that actually, and former players that actually kind of gave Piqué an homage when he retired. Some have been very, very quiet. So he hasn't got an unanimous amount of friends, Piqué. And that's interesting because sometimes in the elite, with competition, when you've been together for so long, that those relationships get distorted. Maybe time will allow that to be recuperated. But I don't see those 4, for instance, working in the same place at the same time, being Barcelona the place. Sevilla Real Sociedad is an intriguing game. Sevilla should have done better against Betis. Having played for most of the second half against 9 men, Sevilla had 10. They just didn't seem to find ways to open up what it was a well-organized defense. And that lack of pace, that lack of offensive organization is what they've been suffering from. They've got, Sevilla, 17 less points than they did at this stage last season. 17, which is amazing. And it doesn't seem to have been a big improvement from the Lopetegui era to the Sampaoli era. It's a lack of players, yes. Perhaps Sampaoli hasn't been able to make his impact yet. But what you've got is a team that only Elche has got worst record at home. Against a Real Sociedad that were doing so well, but only 1 point in the last 9, suggests that they may have lost their way a little bit. But meanwhile, they qualify for the next round of the Europa League as top of the group, and it is a happy bunch considering the amount of injuries that they've got. Sevilla Real Sociedad is always a good game. You'll be able to watch it all at the Viaplay app. Don't forget to download it. Let me tell you about one last game. Real Madrid-Cádiz is one of those games in which you will assume that Real Madrid will get the 3 points and that's it. And actually, you probably will be right. Despite the shocking win of Cádiz against Atletico Madrid 3-2, this is a side that just don't score goals, 8 in total. And that's obviously not enough to save themselves in the first division. Against a Real Madrid side that, as I said earlier, with Valverde, with Vinicius, with Rodrigo, you've got guarantee of goals, but I don't see a Real Madrid that dominates the games in the way that they used to. I think now we're starting to think players that are thinking we don't want to get injured, and rotations still count, but they are favourites in this one. Anyway, that's all for Coffee with Guillem for this year. I'm going to Qatar. I will be doing, though, a daily Coffee with Guillem from there. So keep an eye on it. It'll be in all my social media as usual. For now, Hasta luego.